Hey beautiful people, it's me Daryl and I'm back with another video. Today's video will be the second part of my Booker Prize Longlist book haul. So as you can see, I have 5 books here to show you. Now the top 2 books here are books that I have completed already. The next 2 books are the ones that I actually want to get started. I'm probably gonna get started right after I finish this video. And the last one is one that I haven't opened as yet, but I will soon. So I also want to say that I'm just expecting one more book to arrive and then I will have my full long list to be able to show you in book stack form. But let's get started and hopefully I'll be able to explain a little bit really quickly about some of these books. These are not going to be reviews. These are just more or less just an idea of like what they're about. So the first one I want to talk about is Pearl by Sean Hughes. Now I have completed this one and I have to say I love it. Sorry, Karen. When I watched Karen's booktube review on this book, he hated it. And the things that he was saying, I was like, oh my God, I think I'm gonna hate it too. But sorry to say, I actually really love this one. It's one of my faves. So this one is about an Irish woman who is mourning the loss of her mother. There's a lot of books on the Booker long list this year that are dealing with that subject matter. But this one does it a little bit differently. This one, she's inspired by this medieval poem called Pearl. And she reads it, and in ways it starts to get her thinking about her mother and stuff like that. Now, there's a lot of elements in here to love. There's stuff like, you know, the mystery of like, how did her mother disappear? How did her mother like walk out on their lives? And then it kind of showcases like the main character's childhood and all the stuff that they get through. It's kind of a bonkers book. I think this is not what I was expecting when I read the synopsis of this, is that yes, you are dealing with the loss of this main character's mother, but the story can be a bit outrageous at times, and the writing is also like very like all over the place and stuff, and I loved it. I loved every morsel of it. So this is Pearl by Sean Hughes. The other book that I completed is The House of Doors by Tan Twang Eng. I really enjoyed this one too. The first chapter and second chapter, like I was liking it, but I wasn't so sure. And then it just like became a book that I just could not stop reading. So this one is about, let me see if I can explain this really quickly. Like you have the famous author, W. Somerset Maugham. I hope that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not really sure. I have a book actually from him called On Human Bondage. But yeah, so the book is about this real life writer who comes to Penang and to visit his old friend Robert and Robert's wife Leslie. And then as things go, you start to learn different things about like Leslie when she's on this she lives in Penang. You are gonna learn like there's a murder mystery, like a murder that's involved. There's a trial that's involved. There's like a revolution that's involved. There is just so much like really going on in this book. Yeah, I have to say that I really love this one though, but I didn't really explain that very well, I don't think, but yeah, get your hands on this one. It like explores all sorts of stuff, like the things I mentioned, like the murder, the revolution, and all sort of stuff. But then also W. Somerset Maugham is also, he was a celebrated writer, but he had to hide his homosexuality. So there's that element to the book as well. Really, really good read. Yeah, this one you'll be like flying through the pages because as much as there's so much going on in this book, it's actually very, very easy to read, very easy to just like turn the pages. So the next book now the next two are gonna be the ones that I'm going to start reading as of now. And funny thing is that for most of this long list, I've been reading one book at a time, which is really crazy for me. But with this, I'm gonna read 2 at the same time because there's one that I really want to get started and it is thick. But the first one though I want to say is How to Build a Boat by Elaine Feeney. Now this was gifted to me from Bibliosis. So thank you so much, Bibliosis, for sending me an advanced reader copy of this book. It hasn't come out yet in the US and Canada. I was gonna get my hands on the UK one, but then gladly they told me like, hey, do you want a copy? And this was sent to me. So this one is, I want to believe that the main character is neurodivergent. I want to say, because I heard somebody say that before, but I'm not really sure. I haven't seen that said for sure, but I think it is. And from what I gather is this character loves the color red, is into Edgar Allan Poe, but he wants to create this perpetual motion machine. Is that what you call it? Yeah, perpetual motion machine. And also he wants to sort of like, I guess, revisit his mother who had died before he was born. And these two events of like wanting that from his mother, his deceased mother, and also this perpetual motion machine to him are like simultaneous, like they go hand in hand. So I don't really know a lot more about that. It does sound like a very interesting read. When I first heard about this book, I don't think I was all that excited about it, but now it seems to be very divisive. Like I'm seeing like a lot of people really don't like it, and then other people will find it charming and stuff like that. So I'm very curious to see where I land with it, and I'm gonna get started with it soon. And to me, like the way that it's written and stuff like that, it just seems to me like it's gonna be a very quick read, a fast-paced read and stuff like that. Not like text heavy, I guess. Next book I want to talk about is The Bee Sting by Paul Murray. Now, I am so excited to read this. Let me tell you why. This author wrote Skippy Dies, which is one of my favorite books of all time, and it's one of the books that I have recommended to so many people. Like when I first started my Bookstagram, I had read Skippy Dies way before I started Bookstagram, but it was a book that I had recommended to a lot of people when they were asking me for recommendations, and also like in my real life, I've been also recommending Skippy Dies. So when this was on the long list, at first I didn't even realize it was the same author as Skippy Dies. And then when I learned that, I was like, oh my God, I can't wait. So yeah, I'm really, really excited about this one. It is chunky, just like Skippy Dies is. So this one is about a family. So already it's gonna win my heart because I'm all about books that are about family. But this one is, it seems like a very dysfunctional family. I mean, we love to see it, right? But the father, if I remember correctly, is like building or has like this, a post-apocalyptic bunker or something that he's built, or he either built it already or he's building it. And then, you know, his wife has her own dysfunction thing going on there, and his daughter as well. But the thing is with this book, the hook is that like this is a family full of bad luck, and like bad luck follows them. But I think it's tracing back to, could a particular moment of bad luck be the reason why all these things are happening to the family all at once? And is there a way to change it? And I think it's like gonna go back in time to see like what was the start of this family's bad luck. So yeah, definitely with a premise like that, I'm into it. A chunky book, love my chunky books and love getting back into chunky books. And also a chunky book about a family, you have me. And then also a chunky book about a family written by the author who wrote Skippy Dies, you have my heart. So please don't disappoint. Oh, I can't wait for this. And lastly, I want to talk about is All the Little Bird Hearts by Victoria Lloyd Barlow. Now this one is definitely a narrator who is neurodivergent, and I also believe, I am almost certain about this, that the author who wrote it is also autodivergent, who has autism. I'm curious about this one. So the narrator is, I believe she loves only like white food. Well, I think she only eats white food during a certain emotion. I can't remember what it is, if it's when she's down or something like that, but she'll always eat white food. And the thing is, she has this like, I don't know if it's a volatile relationship with her mother and stuff, but I don't know if they're like always at odds, but the mother is like the big part of this narrator's life. But then there are these neighbors that move in, this couple that move in, and it sort of like shakes the narrator's worldview. They do things that I guess like really shake the narrator's foundation, and she gets a bit enamored with them. But the twist, I guess, in a way, is that the neighbor has this very I don't know if I should say like an unusual interest in the main character, but she wants a daughter of her own. So there seems to be like some sort of sinister vibes there. Like, is she gonna like, you know, try to overtake the mother's life and become this narrator's mother? I'm not really sure. So yeah, I have heard, I think I only know one person that read this. If I'm not mistaken, was it Varsha, I think? Who really, Loka, I think, who really enjoyed this. But yeah, I am curious about it. I think if I really am not mistaken, I only know one person that's read it, or at least only read one review of it. And they loved it a lot. So for me, I'm kind of like, okay, you know, that's piqued my interest. So I can't wait to see like what I make of it. But yeah, those are all the books that I have to share with you. Like I said, I have one more book that will be coming, and then I will make the final video with all of the books. And also, as of now, I have read 8 Booker Prize longlisted books. And I have to say that I am really feeling this long list. I know a lot of people are not on the same page as me, but I am really feeling the long list this year. There's only one book that I did not like, and that book was a book that I read before the long list was announced. So things are going well for me. Like, I'm riding the wave. So anyway, that's all that I have for today, smooches. Please tell me, like, what books, do any of these books sound interesting to you? Which books on the Booker long list did you enjoy? Which did you not enjoy? And how is your progress going? Smooches. Bye.